Welcome to Setting the Table, the chef's best. A chef whose story starts in backyard gardens, family meals, and early restaurant jobs that taught him the value of hospitality, discipline, and care. From working in Omaha kitchens as a teenager to open his own restaurant at just 24, Clayton has built a career around intention, connection, and creating food that means something. I say how you do anything is how you do everything. When we put a meal together, we put it in front of somebody, there's a lot of care and intention and thought that goes behind it. Far beyond, like we always used to say when I had the Grey Plume, we care more about what the guest is eating than the guest cares. Yeah. There are so many chefs and people in the restaurant industry that think that self-sacrifice is what it takes to make it, right? Give up everything that you have to do for the sake of the end goal or the plate or the business to be successful. But I would argue that you will be most successful if you put the oxygen mask on first. We've met a lot of lifelong friends that have happened over food. Food is this connection piece, right? We all need to eat, but you can do it in a way that brings people together and creates memories and all the things, man. That's it at the end of the day. My name's Clayton Chapman, and I grew up here in Omaha. A lot of people say that cooking really began like early in their childhood, and at least for me, it wasn't that early childhood romance story, right? I mean, I remember my mother and my grandmother cooking and things of that nature, and I would be the designated dishwasher, you know. Well, my first restaurant was Subway. Flash forward from my time at Subway, we moved out a little outside of Omaha, and I started working at a place called Mother's Good Food. It was ran by two retired Marines, Mike and Red Dog. I still remember those guys like it was yesterday. And I actually started working for them as a dishwasher, and I didn't screw that up, so they allowed me to do some prep, and then they put me on the line, and I loved that balance of creativity and chaos, you know, during dinner service in that moment. And I just kind of fell in love with food and the business, and I was fortunate that I was good at it. Yeah. There's this romanticism that comes with restaurants and being a chef and being a restaurant owner and all the things, but I think a lot of times at the end of the day, maybe some forget how hard it is to actually make it, to make a living at it and to be successful in that it's like if you watch the pennies, the dollars take care of themselves in a lot of ways. I think that's probably the best lesson that, they taught me that carried through for the next, 20 plus years. So I did spend time in other kitchens in Omaha, and this was all still in high school, mind you. I was maybe 16 when I started working for those guys. I worked at M's Pub, like an Omaha institution, still while in high school, and then I ultimately decided to attend culinary school in Chicago. I thought that the dining scene in Chicago was incredible. It's like a food mecca. Long story short, I ended up competing in a culinary competition in Chicago, bombed it, but had dinner at Tru thereafter, and that meal changed my life. And I said, okay, I'm gonna move here, I'm gonna work here, and I'm gonna go to school. No, bombed, like embarrassed myself bad. Just to give you perspective, picked 10 of us nationwide. It was a nationwide cast. And the other 9 showed up with like a culinary instructor or a culinary coach. I showed up with my mom.
So years later, you go to own your own restaurant.
Yep, we had a really fantastic 10 years. We were really blessed, a lot of national recognition. We had an awesome team that was with us for a number of years. I was 24. No, that's an excellent question. To answer it truthfully, there was no flex. At the time, at that time in my life, it was more of a calling than anything. But COVID obviously happened, right? That happened, yeah. That was a real thing. I was blessed with my 3rd child in January of 2020. And after Lincoln was born, it was the first time that, I was like paused took a break and was around nights, weekends, bedtime. I caught the bug and we just said, let's let it go and go out on a high note. It was really a multi-part decision for us. It was A, that. It was B, my life focus changed. I wanted something different. Wanted the next 10 years to look different than the last 10. You know, Heather and I said, we love being of service, but we don't necessarily want to be in service like dinner service. There was an opportunity when we started Noble Hospitality. We were doing some restaurant consulting. We were still doing some private events and things, but it was very personal, whether it was giving somebody like a turnkey solution to build a restaurant that they've always wanted to do, or maybe helping those reface. Like, that's a very intimate, personal thing. It's also a very personal thing to go into somebody's home and, cook a meal for them. Best Fest is a cool deal, man. I think, the thought and intention that went behind curating this and putting it together is pretty special. The food is just going to be one element of this, the music, the art, the table settings, the presentation, the service style. There's a lot that's going to go into it. I think that whether it's myself or the other chefs that are participating, I think it's a really cool thing for Omaha. I think it's going to be a treat for guests to be part of. I think they could take away one thing. It's how unique Omaha is, and there are so many opportunities here that only exist in much bigger metropolitan areas, and we're doing it.